What's up, YouTube? Today we're gonna dive deep into a project that I recently produced and mixed for an artist by the name of Lauren Free from the US. She did a song called Parade, which is kind of a crossover poppy sort of country song, and I got to mix it, produce it. I'm gonna run you through my process, how I did it, and we'll listen to the before and after. Hopefully it'll inspire you as producers, future producers out there, future artists that want to release music to go forth and do those things and never be caught up in the limitations or never get caught up in do I have the right gear? Am I in the right environment? Just go and do it. Trust your instincts, trust your ears. The song is streaming on all the platforms. I'll share the links below. Please support this artist. I'm very, very proud with how this turned out. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. Let's do it. So here's the project. It's not by any means a large project. It might look larger than it is, but that's just part of the process of how I record stuff. But maybe what I'll do is I'll play the original track of what she sent me. So she recorded a guitar part, acoustic guitar, and then she recorded vocals separately. Sent me the files, and I brought them in here. So I'll let you listen to the original kind of mix of what she sent.
It's just one of those things they say you'll grow up to understand someday, but I'm over here sick and feeling like shit, and I just don't understand why.
Okay, so that's it. That's the original part that was sent to me. So I listened to that. The first thing I do is I determine what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep. So right away, you can probably tell there's an issue with the guitar there. Tuning issue, sound issue, I don't know, but I just listened to it. I'm like, if I can fix something, I will. If I think that it's fixable, if it's a sound issue, if it's an EQ issue, whatever. But if it's just not, a good enough recording, if there's something with the guitar, if it's a tuning issue with the guitar, then we don't keep it. So depending on how it is and who you're working with, you could go back to the artist and like, we're going to need another guitar take, or I have access to my guitars here. So if it's something that I feel like I can play and I can cover it, then I will. Otherwise, I can shop it out, the guitar parts, to somebody else. I know a gazillion guitar players, or you can send it back to the client. Like we need another part. And also the vocals were a little pitchy, which I think was because there was a tuning issue with the guitar. All it takes is maybe one string slightly out of tune, and you can have a singer who's not a pitchy singer. Lauren is very, very much on key singer. Got a fantastic voice. Also nice as pie. Did I mention how nice she is? Super nice. I could not be any happier for her and how things are going for her. Just an absolute pleasure to work with. So what she ended up doing is I initially did some serious pitch correction, and it was starting to sound a little artificial, and that's not what either of us were really going for. She's like, let me take another kick at it. So she recorded the vocals. They came through much, much better. So let me walk you through the project. So first thing I did was lose the original guitar, and I re-recorded the guitar parts. Usually I record those in sections. And what I do is I record two parts of each section for guitar, and I hard pan them left and right. So I'm playing the same thing, hard pan one left, right, and all that does is just open up this crazy stereo spectrum. I keep forgetting every time I solo. It's going to cut off the mic here, but let's listen to a little bit of the guitar. So I think you can hear we're already 1,000 times better with the guitar sound. So we got some EQ going on. Most of the time with EQ, cutting out the low. This one's all over the place. I think I used a preset. Don't be afraid to use presets. I discovered this when I was EQing a kick drum. People always tell you in YouTube videos, don't use presets. Use presets. They might get you closer than what you would normally have thought. I was messing around with EQing a kick drum, and I'm like, oh, don't use a preset. I use a preset, and all of a sudden it sounded amazing. I had to tweak it a little bit, but anyway, some crazy stuff going on. But mostly we were rolling off the lows, and then there's a little cut over here because she thought the guitar sounded a little bit too bright. So we just brought it down a little bit. In terms of anything else with the guitar, that's pretty much it. This is down a high compression kind of a song. So very, very minimal stuff that's going on here. Just a little bit of EQ, and then we, on the second bus, we added some Valhalla Room reverb. What do we got here? We got a large room, clear hall. Okay, so that's for the instrumental parts. Always add on your verb channels a low cut. Okay, that's just a big thing. Just always throw an EQ in there and roll it off. There's probably a way you can do that within the Valhalla plugin, but whatever. I do it on here. So in terms of like my buses, I have bus 1 is for plate. You pretty much always want to use a plate reverb for vocals. So I got a plate verb. Again, I've rolled off the lows, and then all the other things are running through like kind of my long verb, which is for instruments. And then I have a stereo delay, which is probably your biggest friend. It'll be the best friend that you ever had. It's like Batman. Okay, it's like the hero that you didn't think you wanted, but whatever. It's Batman. Okay, it's your secret weapon. Delay works better than reverb 99.9% of the time. Okay, especially stereo delay. So vocals are running through that. We have some saturation, which I like to do. Now, did I even end up using this? Hang on a second here. Bus 4, yes. I did throw a little bit of saturation on some of the vocal tracks. Okay, so why do we do that? Just to add a little more top end to the vocal to get it cut through the mix. But be careful, because you can start to make the vocal sound distorted and thin. But a little bit of saturation goes a long ways. So you can see these are the vocal tracks. Let's see, from here to here. Some of these we didn't use. So these are the kind of the usable tracks that we used. I think these are the original vocals in red that we ended up cutting out from the first take. So as you can see, there's only a couple of tracks that have added a little bit of saturation, and very, very small quantities. So we'll go through the vocals in a minute, but just to give you an idea, that's what the project is. So overall, pretty simple. So all these first tracks are all just acoustic guitars, first 15 tracks, and that's just all of me just double taking, overdubbing two stereo parts. Some of these might not even have made the final cut. Looks like I had a couple of empty tracks that we might have deleted for whatever reason. And then we have some electric guitar in here. I'll play a little bit of that for you. Same thing, just roll off the lows. This guitar, it's panned slightly left, and it is just running through Guitar Rig. Creamy Snowflakes. Anybody who's been following me on Twitch streams knows that's my favorite guitar sound. So let's play a little bit of that. Very, very background, just kind of like finger picking, just a very, very background. We got some just straight up keyboard bass, Liverpool bass. What is this? Where's it even from? This is straight up Logic sound. Okay, the bass that you're hearing on here is Logic. Straight up Logic sound. Let's hear it. And kind of on its own, it's like it's okay, but in the mix it works really well. For piano, as always, we're using Noir felt piano. my favorite piano, my favorite go-to sample library piano, until somebody buys me an actual felt, real acoustic piano. This is, I think, the closest I'm going to get to it. So I fooled around with some presets and then messed around with the reverb delay. Take the presets, but then always tweak them. So we just have some nice little piano going on here. Let's do it. It's got a very kind of classic sound to it, which I really, really like. And then I don't even know what this is. Let's take a look. Oh, we got some Spitfire Audio ambient guitar. Okay, I like to just throw in little textures, little sweeteners in there. So let's listen to this. I don't even remember what this sounds like. Here we go. So background, it's soft pan to the right. Why did I soft pan it to the right? Because my other finger picking electric guitar was soft pan to the left. So you don't want those. Those are two somewhat similar sounds. So you're gonna run into frequency issues. So just pan those bad boys. All right, and then we got some Neo. Neo makes it. Spitfire Audio Albion Neo makes it in pretty much every project that I do. This is actually the harmonium, which I don't think I'd used in a project yet. So let's listen to it. Has a very, very nice, soft, kind of close sound to it. Very, very usable if you use it kind of like in small kind of doses. And then, no surprise, we have Neo cassette tape strings. Let's listen to that. It's like my desert island pick for sounds. I can't get enough of that. More Neo. We got Distant Hunters. Let's listen to that. So you always want to be building the track, okay? You want to start, depending on what style of music it is, but a song like this, you want to start small and you want to have a nice build. And you want to constantly be adding new elements as you go along or taking elements away. You really want to build that production up. Your second verse should never sound the same as your first verse. The bridge should never sound the same as the chorus. The outro should sound different than the intro. If you're trying to build something big and it's not working, try taking something away. A lot of it is just kind of just messing around, trying things. Then of course we got some Omnisphere in here. The second track was just some more Neo. We always have, this is one of my favorite sounds by Spectrasonic Omnisphere. Is it the best sample library I ever created? Probably. This is a sound that I can't tell you the number of times that people stop and say, what's that sound? And Lauren, same thing, just love this sound. Astrovert on Twitch, absolutely, like everybody loves this sound. So let's listen to it. Come on, this is a friggin' fantastic sound. It's kind of like a processed lap steel kind of a sound. And then we have some, what did I add in here? We have, oh yeah, I forgot that I even used this. Some drums. Okay, Stephen Slate drums. SSD 5. And there's a gazillion ways that you can record drums. What I tend to do is either play the parts one at a time under separate tracks. You can also route out the entire kit if you want to go to the trouble. You can just route it out so that you play it and it records into separate tracks. I could just never be bothered to set that up. So usually I play them either together with the old finger drumming, and then I separate the parts afterwards, or I just play the parts one at a time and kind of build the track based on that. This is a song that I thought needed very, very little percussion. It was very, very vocally driven based song. We just wanted her voice to just come straight through and just wanted to support it. But I'm usually a percussion nut, but not for this song. So we just got some little drum. We got snare, kick, ride, and I'll just play them three together. That is it. You couldn't ask for any simpler of a drum part. But if you really, really listen, especially in the more kind of modern day pop music these days, this is what you'll hear. You'll hear very, very vocally driven songs where the arrangement is built around the vocals. That's why Phineas is one of my favorite producers, because of that reason. So I'm constantly learning from listening to the stuff that he's produced, that just get that vocal right and then build the arrangement around the vocals. So that's it. And then we have the vocals. Now the vocals are going to be what you're going to be spending, the majority of your time on. So what I'll do is I'll show you how I process vocals, and it's pretty much always the same approach. So EQ, okay. Listen, it's always the same stuff, man. You're rolling off the lows, you're doing a little high shelf, you're maybe scooping out some of the mids. Okay, and then compression. I don't care what compressors you use. I don't care what DAW you use. I don't care if you have outboard gear or you're in the box. It doesn't matter. People are always doing the same things. Okay? There's no magical secret to vocals other than they have to be recorded really, really well. The performance has to be good. And the quality of the recording, the original recording, has to be good. And if you get those things right, then it's easy. You don't have to throw a lot of stuff. So I take a compressor. It's a little trick from Recording Revolution, Graham Cochran. I stack another compressor on top of it. So then I get it just super, super compressed. Compression on vocals is pretty much, sometimes I use compression on drums. And vocals, and generally I don't use compression on anything else because I don't love compression. But for vocals, it's very, very necessary and very, very useful. And then we have some light pitch correction. They changed the interface on Logic, the pitch correction, so you can fool around with it. I think I put the key in there in the major, and then what you really want to spend most of your time on is fooling around with the response time. If you hit it too hard, you're going to get that really, really auto-tuned sound, which is not what we're looking for at all. So just very, very minimal pitch correction. Her pitching, especially on the new takes she had sent me, was really, really good. So yep, just that fixed up some issues. The de-esser. Okay, I've talked about this in the past, but there used to be de-esser 1 in Logic, which was horrible, unusable. De-esser 2, fantastic. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they changed it, but they fixed it. And then we got some of the reverb, which I talked about at the beginning. So bus 1 goes to the plate verb, and bus 3 is going to the delay. So what I'll do is I'll play like a vocal track, and I'll start it dry, and then I'll add the effects one at a time so you can hear what's going on. So let's do that. So let me take all these effects off. Nothing like listening to dry vocals. Like when I'm listening to my own dry vocals is like the worst thing in the world. Okay, here we go.
It's just one of those things they say you'll grow up to understand someday, but I'm over here sick and feeling like shit, and I just don't understand why people are always right in the mouth, not being about the shit they're talking about. I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Like, wow, right? Like the difference before and after it's crazy. But the thing is, if you EQ and compress vocals and leave everything else off, they better already sound amazing. If they don't, it doesn't matter what you do. They already have. This took me years to figure out. And then you're just adding a little splash. You're just making it shine. I hit the delay pretty hard the first time that I sent the first version to Lauren, and she's like, "Whoa, way too much delay." And it's funny, before she even said anything, I listened back and I'm like, "Oh man, there's way too much delay." And she's like, "Can we lose some of that delay?" But anyway, if you just listen to that, let me play that vocal again with all the effects just to let you hear it.
People are always running their mouth, not being about the shit they're talking about.
Now you have a perfectly kind of EQ'd, balanced, compressed vocal that just cuts right through the mix. Do that to every track. You can go through and for each of the vocals, and you can remove. I like to remove some of the individual breath sounds if they're too much, and then kind of fade in and fade out. Let's see what I did here. Yeah. So I did some cuts, and then I did some fades on the vocals, and sometimes I go through, depending on the breaths, if they're too much, and I will just manually remove those. I don't like any automated processing in Logic. I like to do it myself. That's pretty much it. Then you get yourself a nice, good static mix. Okay, so you get the faders all so that everything's sounding really, really good. It's where you want it. And just make sure you're not clipping. And then you can run it through your favorite mastering program. My favorite go-to right now is LANDR, LANDR. I've decided that is the only one going forward that I'm going to be using. I did a YouTube video comparing a few different ones, but LANDR to me right now is the best. Their algorithm is the best. It's giving me the best results, the most balanced results. I love it. It's working fantastically well. So I 100% recommend LANDR. It's a little pricey. I think maybe regular is $300. I would try to get it on sale. Try to get it on sale if you can. $300 is a little steep. I think they need to drop it a little bit. LANDR, drop your price a little bit, and you're going to sell a ton of those. Logic does have the built-in mastering, but I think that LANDR is significantly better. Now that I've had some more time to kind of dig in and use it. So once I kind of get kind of a rough mix, once I've done my tracking, so I track everything first, and then I switch to the old VSTs, Stephen SLATE VSTs, and put on those cans, and then I do some very fine details. So when I'm doing all of the stuff, all of the processing, all the EQing and everything, I'm doing it all using those headphones, because you can hear everything so much better. And then the last phase is just throwing it into LANDR, spitting it out. There's usually some back and forth with the client, so I'll drop files on like a Google Drive, and we'll go back and forth. And we didn't have a whole lot of versions of this. Usually I do one version, send it to them, they make some comments. Version 2 comments. We maybe only had 4 or 5 versions of this, which is really good. Okay, let's listen to the original chorus, and then I'll flip back and you can hear my mix, so you can hear the before and after. Okay, here we go.
To get it straight, been having an emotional day. Sorry to rain on your parade. Trying to figure it out, but I'm sitting here feeling like I'm nothing to you. Leave the door open if there's something to cling to, just please
wow. This is like, come on, the before and after is my favorite part. I still get chills every time. No, I've heard this song like a gazillion times. Every time she does that high part, I tell her she was going to re-record that high part. I'm like, do not touch it. That is the part, man. I get little goosebumps every time. So this was an absolute pleasure to work on. I hope what you get out of this is to either work on your own projects and realize that it's not as complicated as it seems, or find other people like me or somebody else in your area that can help you achieve your desired sound, because the world needs music now more than ever. So there we have it, my friends. Let's get some final thoughts. Put in the work, put in the hours, trust your ears, make sure you know your equipment, make sure you know your DAW. Spend the time to figure out how to do things quickly. The faster you're able to do things, the more money you're going to make, the more projects that you can take on. And put your heart and your pride in your work, and the people that work with you will appreciate that and will respond to that. This is the first of many projects that I've either produced or mixed or taken part in that will be released this year. Voice Unmuted, Katie from Toronto, will be releasing her 5-song EP, which was also mixed / co-produced by myself. So I'll probably do another video on that project as well. I'm super excited with how that turned out. If you haven't seen it on my website, I have a licensing tab now. There are 11 brand new songs, cinematic songs, that you can license for use in your videos at a very, very affordable rate. So please check those out. I create those on Tuesday mornings on my Twitch channel, and then I mix them off stream, and then I release them as quickly as I can. They're also available on all of the usual streaming platforms. So if you just want to listen to them, you can do so there. If you want to license them, you can do that directly through my website. There's another potential project that might be happening, which I'm super excited about, but I'm going to keep it under the wraps until it gets the go-ahead. So lots of good stuff coming up. Go forth, create, have fun, and trust your instincts, follow your heart. Cheers.